Hi, everybody. Welcome to Dance Teacher Pep Talk. I'm Amanda, and if you have listened to the most recent episode on Dance Teacher Pep Talk podcast, you will know that I'm currently on maternity leave. We welcomed our two beautiful sons, twin boys, into the world early October, and while I'm still currently on leave, I have had just a flood of thoughts and inspiring ideas come through to me because, there's a lot of feeding and sleeping and this and that. Like basically that is the cycle of the life right now that I'm living. But in that time, I have found a lot of inspiration from what is currently happening in my life. And it really made me start thinking too about how it can apply to the dance world as well. So I thought I would just pop on. This is going to be the most basic version of an episode that I've done. And maybe I'll continue to do just, basic little thoughts here and there to keep the inspiration flowing. But I don't plan on editing this. I don't think I'm going to even loop the intro onto this. So if you're new here, welcome. This is a podcast space for inspiration for dance teachers and aspiring dance teachers to take information into your week and into your planning. And so just continuing on these thoughts, as I mentioned, I don't think I'm going to do any social media really to market this episode, maybe just a little post. But like I said, that's the season of life that I'm in. And I always encourage those around me to show up however they're able and in whatever way inspires them. And that's what I'm doing right now for the podcast. So, so today's thought that I wanted to share with you all, really, like I mentioned, is coming from the inspiration of this current time that I'm in of maternity leave with our twins. And it's so interesting to me. Like I always am so fascinated about like the newborn stage of life because I feel that there is so much learning to be done. Like so often we hear that children are our greatest teachers, and I really do find that to be true. And I find this maternity or postpartum experience to be a lot different than the postpartum experience I had with my daughter. And it's just really interesting though, like I said, the thoughts that come up and how I found they apply to the dance world. So if you'd gone on the Instagram page for Dance Teacher Pep Talk last week, I had put up a post about flexibility because it's something that I'm noticing in my life. I'm the type of person that I really always feel rigid to a plan, even like maybe too much control centered type of person. And because of that, there's really not space to control the situation of the newborn life, just like there's really not the space to control the dance classroom. I mean, to a degree, we can structure, we can plan, we can put together, we can think that we know how things are going to go. But if we're not really looking at what is happening in front of us or taking it as it's coming, it's not really going to suit what we're doing. It's not going to suit our dancers. It's not going to suit our children. And so we have to be able to respond to the different variables that come up in the day-to-day. And so today's thought, a little different from that, but kind of similar, is when we are living for our hopes and dreams, living for our goals, and we're constantly, future projecting and all of this, we are missing out on the biggest part of what is happening right now, and that is living. And so I wanted to make this episode sort of as a reminder to serve that, living for our goals and dreams can be a good thing because it pushes us forward. However, it can also be a bad thing in a way because it's taking us from the beauty of what is. And so, I remember postpartum with my daughter, I kept thinking like, okay, like this is a tricky stage. I can't wait to get to the next stage. Not a lot of sleep this particular stage. Can't wait to be able to get more sleep. But like along with that comes a whole different phase of things or a whole different slew of things. And when I was thinking about how this applied to dance, I feel like so right now we might be in a season of finishing our competition pieces. Maybe we're preparing our Nutcrackers to hit the stage. But if we are really always looking towards the goal, like can't wait to get these kids out on stage for recital, can't wait to hit the competition stage, I can't wait to be done with this piece, I can't wait to be cleaned up with this piece, that's the stage that we are going to miss. And so instead of like constantly thinking of what is ahead, really take the time to soak up of what is now. Soaking up what is now is going to be so important because you will want that back. At the end of the competition season, when you're tired of seeing your pieces, or I shouldn't say that. Like, how do I reframe this word? When you kind of are like, you've really run and cycled through that piece and you're thinking of inspiration, you're ready to plan and start a new one. You're missing that time in the rehearsal space. You're missing that time setting the choreography. You're missing that time putting and creating the piece together. But when we're in it, we are just constantly thinking like, oh, okay, when I get this piece done, or oh, when it's cleaned, And even for like when we're putting together recitals or Nutcrackers or whatever it is that you're organizing currently right now, you are going to miss that, if we're constantly thinking about the show that's to come or, the performance that's to come. When that performance happens, the year is done. The season is done. That Nutcracker season is done, whichever it is. And so, like I was saying, you are going to miss this stage. And so making sure that we are not just living ahead in the future, but we are taking in what is happening now, because this is what is really happening. That is what is in front of you. Just as I mentioned with the post about being flexible in your planning, that, if we're not taking in the moment that is in front of us, it's going to pass us by. And this is where the learning happens. This is where the growth happens. This is where the enjoyment of the season that you're in is happening. And I just thought, though I'm applying this in my life in like a postpartum way, I thought it's such a beautiful and important reminder too for dance teachers, because we are such planners and we have so much in the year that we're putting together. So take the time to enjoy everything that it is that you're putting together and really be present with that and celebrate that, because pretty soon, all those seniors that you're working with, they're going to be graduating and then you won't have that time with them. So even if it's a tough rehearsal day, you're not feeling as motivated, that's okay. Like, go in there with that feeling. Like, that feeling will pass, but you aren't going to get this time back. So enjoying what you can of the rehearsal space, even if you feel like you're in a tough spot or in a writer's block situation, and also see what the dancers are bringing in for energy. How can we pull from their energy for inspiration in that moment? And how can we celebrate the current moment as we are able to? So I hope this little reminder episode helps you in whatever season you are currently in. And I want to thank you so much for your support of the podcast. It's going to be a pretty rough, type of episode schedule. I'm just going to come on here when I want to and when I feel inspired. And like I said, currently it's just going to be pretty laid back. So I hope that you got something special out of today's episode. And please follow us on Instagram at Dance Teacher Pep Talk, because I also tend to post quotes and thoughts that I have for the day there. Maybe it doesn't have to be a whole episode, but maybe I just make a little post. So please make sure to follow us there. And I want to thank you so much for your support and listens. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.